Welcome to a night of total terror.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotion.
Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all time.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
First came the night, then came the dawn. Now comes the most eagerly awaited day in horror film history.
Look at that, the spear's glowing like a green moon over the strip. They've got old zombie clips playing all around it, and the neon says Thursday of the Dead. You can see every car light down there reflecting off the panels. Vegas knows how to light up the night and make it a little spooky while they're at it.
Thursday of the Dead, just a name for nothing left to buy. I drift.
Welcome back to Thursday of the Dead, episode 353. My name is Chase. Today's episode is a bittersweet look at my last day at Living Dead Weekend, which was actually made even more nice by finding out about this article in the New York Times. What happened was I first saw Michelle Parsons posted a link to this article, along with her selfie with the author. And I mentioned, it's like, hey, I'm jealous. And then as I looked further down, I saw that I'm in it too. It's like, okay, cool. And so what ended up happening is I ended up getting contacted by a bunch of friends from across the country. Even my friend Norman in Japan sent me a message like, hey, you're in the New York Times. It's like, that's so cool. So we're getting there. What they ended up using, it's not like I'm featured at all. I'm just standing in the line. I'm standing in the line for the Friday VIP screening of Dawn of the Dead, which was mind-blowing, and even better, here it comes. This one leased this space, and there I am with my black hat and the cane. And then Eric Kent is there, along with Byron, Michael, Stetio, Matt, and Bob with his back turned. So a bunch of friends in the same picture. I ended up getting that printed for my office. I have a few Monroeville Mall themed prints in my office. One of me looking out over the mall, and another one of the first time I met George. And so this will be a nice way to complete that series. I didn't actually go to day 3. And the footage that you're watching right now was from my last moment in the mall. This was walking out of the VIP cocktail party on Saturday.
I don't want to go. I really don't. I really don't.
So on the way out, you kind of see him there. That was actually Eric Kent that I ran into on the way out. And what ended up happening was Claire and I were going to go on Saturday with Stetio and his daughter C to Evans City Cemetery and the Creepshow House and a whole bunch of other things. But we were up so late on Saturday night hanging out with them, they wanted to leave basically within like 4 hours of us going to bed. So we postponed that and decided to just go on Sunday. And it worked out well. The main thing I took away from the drive to Evans City is it reminded me very much of California. It looks like the Bay Area in California, especially Oakland or Daly City, which is where I grew up. So it felt very comfortable, strange as that is, to a place on the other side of the country that I've only been to once and never been to this part. It's beautiful, especially now that I live in Las Vegas. I really appreciate seeing all the trees. I miss the trees in California. So we'd rented a car, and Claire drove the whole way, which is why I was able to film. I had Dramamine because it was a good idea too, because these roads are pretty twisty. And we're getting close. We ended up spending just a little bit of time inside the Evans City Cemetery. And of course, once we got there, I had to use the bathroom. So it's like, okay, well, we got to go. I filmed it. Let's go. And we ended up going to a taco place in Evans City where I was able to use the restroom and get a chorizo taco that was mediocre. I won't name the place because I don't want to mess with their business. Not like anyone's going to go out to Evans City to look for that taco. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to talk much during this point because this is holy ground, basically. I felt walking into the Evans City Cemetery pretty much the same as I did walking into the Monroeville Mall for the first time. I was just in awe. Once Claire and I got to the airport in Pittsburgh, we found out there was a big storm and a delay. And funny enough, our friend Stesio had an earlier flight than us and was trapped in the airport too. So we got to hang out with him for a bit. Got to see the storm arrive. Got to see a crazy lady dancing in the corner of the terminal. And while we were waiting, it was like a 2-hour delay. It could have been worse. I saw Norman England had posted on Facebook that his Kindle version of his book was on sale. And I thought, hey, that'll be great for me to read on the flight home. And it wasn't planned that way. It's just funny that my flight to my last Living Dead weekend, I read The Farmhouse 7 on the way there, which gave me great insight into the Evans City Cemetery and kept my interest through the entire flight. And so I read the Kindle version of Norman England's book, the on the set of George Romero's Resident Evil 2 commercial. Now, this version didn't have any photos. It was just text. And that was fine by me because Norman's a good author. I own a lot of his books. And so the only problem for me was I read it too fast. I was pretty much done in a couple hours. And so I ended up going back and kind of rereading it. The thing I posted in my Amazon review is that I appreciated like Norman's telling of the details and how George reacted to him and to the cast and crew. Made me really feel the warmth of George. And that same thing I felt when I met him the first time. Like, oh, I understand why people really want to work with you. He was a cool guy. It's basically what it was. So for the book, it's just covering, 2 days of a commercial shoot in Los Angeles. And one of the things I found very interesting was because Norman has been located in Japan for decades now. He flew back to the US and to LA to be on set and to interview George and take pictures. And that whole experience was fascinating. I especially liked all the details about Scream Mad George. I liked the contrast between the Japanese people that had come over and the US crew. It's very interesting. And in fact, I want more. And so to kind of put my money where my mouth is, I bought the digital copy and I contacted Norman about how I could buy a physical copy that he signs because I want one for my collection. I liked it that much. And he's going to be at, I think, Days of the Dead, Chicago. And he had me order a physical copy of the book to send to his friend that lives in the area that's going to help him at the show. And then he'll sign it for me and send it back to me. So that will be arriving a few weeks. And a great addition to my collection. So, to wrap this up, it was bittersweet, my last time at the Monroeville Mall, and the fact that I got out on Saturday night and just didn't go back on Sunday, I think was fitting. I mean, I didn't get to say goodbye to a bunch of people, but, it happens. And we wanted to get to the airport at a good time, which was earlier. Our flight was at 4 or 5. Didn't realize there was a delay. Of course, we could have stayed and gone to Living Dead Weekend Day 3. But in reality, I saw most of the people I wanted to see. There's a few that I didn't get to see and say hi to, but that's just the name of the game. And I am looking at maybe going back next year. There is a concert in, I think it's March, at the Byam Theater of the music of George Romero. So I had wanted to go back to see other locations that I missed this time. And so maybe I can make that work.